You are listening to The American Soundbite, a podcast that features common sense thoughts of me, an everyday American. This is the start of the most valuable 10 minutes of your day, so congratulations on joining us. I'm glad you're here for the conversation today. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to think of a friend, maybe a family member, or even a coworker, someone who may be, well, not quite up to date on current events, just doesn't have the talking points that they need to be truly interesting around the coffee pot or the water cooler, maybe even before your Zoom meeting begins each morning. Let them know that you start your day by listening to the American Soundbite and that they should too. It gives them the information they need to start thinking, get those brain juices flowing, and be able to be interesting and converse on important topics. They can find us at Amazon Alexa, on AmericanSoundbite.com, or even on Spotify. So, over the weekend, because as you know, we broadcast this very podcast weekdays, Monday through Friday, to give you something to listen to, give you something to start thinking about throughout the week. Well, today and throughout the weekend, I was pondering, well, something that really solidified it, hit home this morning when I turned on the financial news programs. And I saw that yet another company has been approved or is about to be approved, or their vaccine has proven over 90% effective in their trials, and that they have medicine, they have doses, they have whatever. They have their chemicals ready to distribute to Americans and the world immediately. So that's right. Now, 3 weeks after the election, and we have had 3 companies that have essentially released quantities of vaccine for COVID-19. 3 weeks following the election, 3 companies have announced that they have millions and millions of doses of their vaccines that are going to be available to, well, the general public as soon as the FDA says they can start distributing it. So that brings to question, do you remember in the days and weeks and even few months leading up to the election, the members of the deep state, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and members of the CDC, and, well, Democratic members of Congress, and doctors who are contributors to news programs all over the television airwaves, they all pontificated how, even though Donald Trump keeps saying that the vaccine is going to be available before the end of the year, he's wrong. He doesn't know science. That's just a campaign stance for him, and he's trying to lie to get your votes. That president man, he is so full of crap. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, all of the deep state players on the medical side, and even some that were just purely political, well, they all said that the vaccine, that there was no way it was going to be ready in 2020. At the very most conservative or liberal estimates, it might be ready by next summer. And some people were saying it was going to be well into 2022 before a vaccine was available. Donald Trump has completely blown this. He has fumbled the whole process of dealing with coronavirus. And because of that, he's killed billions of people in America. Well, if you listen to Joe Biden's math. However, you have to ask yourself, why is it that the deep state, people who have been in government and have had positions of leadership for years, in some cases, way too many years, in most cases, pretty much. Why are they threatened by a President Donald Trump? Why do they want to make sure that President Donald Trump doesn't have any credibility in the eyes of the weak voters of America? Well, plain and simple, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly why Donald Trump was elected to begin with, and why, what was it, 75 million people voted for him again in this election? Plain and simple. Donald Trump wants to eliminate the deep state. He wants to eliminate corruption in government. Not just political corruption, but corruption across the board. He believes that people who work for the United States should, well, work for the United States and produce results and have no outside interest in what they're doing or anything related to their job. The deep state, however, is getting funds from all kinds of outside influences. They're getting paid by, well, nefarious third world countries, or not third world, but just other countries other than America. They're getting paid and getting funded and getting all kinds of gifts from corporations that serve to benefit from their influence over their position. They are getting paid from special interest groups who, again, want to influence the decision-making process, and since they're the heads of these departments, they get to make the decisions. And Donald Trump is against that. Donald Trump wants to rid the government of corruption, of people who are influenced by anything other than, well, what's in the best interest of the American people. So all of these people went on TV. The director of the CDC, the director of the NIH, Dr. Fauci, all of these people, their vaccine at the earliest, the spring, or really the summer. It's probably going to be 2022, or not even in our lifetime are we ever going to see a viable vaccine. It's definitely not going to be in 2020. And yet, all along, President Donald Trump told us that possibly by the end of the year that he's really pushing, that he really thinks that these tests, based on the success that they're having, based on the momentum that they've gained, that they're going to be able to release vaccines by the end of the year. And now, 3 weeks following the election, like it's a miracle, we have 3 companies that have 3 vaccines that are ready for public distribution as soon as the Food and Drug Administration says, yes, you can deliver it. So again, I ask you, all along, over the last 6, 8, 9 months, who was right and who was wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, President Donald Trump has had the best interest of Americans, of you and me, in everything that he has done in office. Most politicians, most people who have leadership positions in government do not have your best interest at heart. They do not have your best interest in their focus. They do not care about you, the American people. They are focused on, well, utilizing their position in government to benefit themselves to the greatest extent possible. That means that if they can get book deals, or if they can get paid to be on television, or if they can get paid by special interest groups, or corporations hire their relatives for seats on their board, even though they have no experience in their industry or in that position whatsoever, they find ways to utilize their position in government to benefit themselves and their family members personally. It's not what's in the best interest of the country. It's not what's in the best interest of the people. To these corrupt individuals, the only thing that matters is what's in their own personal best interest. And usually, 98% of the time, that is in direct opposition to what's in your best interest, to what's in the best interest of America. I sit here today in firm belief that Joe Biden is a compromised politician. I won't call him a compromised president because I don't believe that he won the election. I do believe that he either had an individual role in the fixing of the election, or that he knew that the election had been fixed and he let it happen. If he wasn't part of it, he would be standing up saying, hey, wait a minute, half of America doesn't have faith in the results of this election. I believe I won, and I want all Americans to believe that I am a duly elected president, not somebody who, well, held a coup over the American voters and stole the presidency. And he would want the answers to come out because he believes he won. But he hasn't. In fact, they've actively tried to obstruct any type of investigation or clear look at what happened with the vote counting, with the vote tabulation, with the voting in general, because they don't want the truth coming out. If they wanted Americans to trust them, if they thought that they truly won without cheating, they would be pushing for all kinds of recounts and all kinds of clarification so that the American people would know beyond any doubt whatsoever that he was truly elected president. But he is hiding. He is doing his best to keep the results a secret, to keep the actions of his party clouded in mystery, and to make sure that you, the voters, don't know what really happened in the election. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and, well, most politicians, certainly all career politicians, are on the take. They are guilty of corruption. President Trump has promised to, well, find that corruption and to unseat these people. It's not just, it is the politicians. It's all career politicians because we all know that they're on the take. But it's also career employees of the government, the people who are in the leadership positions, who, just as we saw in the FBI, in the FDA, and in the NIH, and in the CDC, and across the board in the CIA, everywhere in a leadership position, people who have spent a career in government have been compromised. And President Trump has promised to root that out, to make it visible, and to eliminate it from our government. Why? Because corruption isn't good for you or me. Corruption isn't good for our country. And corruption, if left unchecked, will destroy this country. And ladies and gentlemen, we're pretty close to that point today. Donald Trump has promised to find it and to unseat it, to get these people out of government, and in most cases get them into prison for the laws that they have broken. And they, collectively, the deep state, they individually, each of them, people who have been on the take, people who have accepted bribes or whatever, they don't want to be found out. They don't want to go to jail. They don't want to stop the gravy train. So collectively, they've gotten together and they've said, we've got to stop this. And the way to stop it is to stop the president, who isn't a politician, the president who isn't a career employee of the government, the person who has not sold his influence to corporations or other countries or special interest groups or anything. They want somebody who is as guilty as they are, because then they know they're safe. Then they know that they're protected. Then they know that no matter what, they can keep doing, well, business as they've always done it. Not by putting the American people first, but by putting their own selfish interest first. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is un-American. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not the government that we, well, can have, because it will destroy our freedom. President Trump all along told us the vaccine was coming this year. And sure enough, we now have 3 companies that are ready to distribute vaccines. We also have Remdesivir, which the president got when he was in the hospital and has been, well, talking it up for months about what a great whatever it is, whatever this drug that it is. And the mainstream media, of course, came out and said, "Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, it's not effective. Oh, it's horrible." Remember, the stock price shot up when it first came on the scene, and then it dropped way down when, the media says it doesn't work. And then the president took it, and the stock price went way back up. And then the media said, "Oh, it's a load of crap," and the stock price went back down again. Well, guess what? They just announced they've got FDA approval now to treat COVID-19. And pretty much one treatment, it takes like 2 hours to get the stuff through IV. You need to be supervised the entire 2 hours you're getting it. And you need to have a nurse there with you for an hour afterwards. So it's a long process. But you get this treatment, and within days, all of your severe symptoms are gone. Within days. Well, look at what the president did. He got it the first time he started showing symptoms. He got it right away. And within days, he was out of the hospital and back on the campaign trail with all of his energy, with everything. They said it wasn't effective. They said it wouldn't work. They said Trump lied. They said he's bad for the country. The truth is, Donald Trump has been great for the economy. He's been great for jobs. He's been great for security. He's been great for our protection. He's been great for our borders. He's been great for our international dealings. Donald Trump has been great for you. He has been great for me. He has been great for all American people. And the people who want him out are people who don't want you and the American people to have things that are great. They want great things for themselves. They are self-serving. They have sold their influence to the highest bidders, and they are dangerous for our country. They're dangerous for our democracy. They are dangerous and a threat to our freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe Donald Trump, when he was talking about the virus, when he was talking about the vaccines, when he was talking about Remdesivir, when he's talking about our security and what he is willing to do for the American people. And I believe that you should trust him and believe him as well. He's right about the election. He's right about the election fraud. He has been right about everything all along. You can't say, "Oh, okay, he's been right about 90% of all this stuff, but the election shit is bullshit. There's no way. He's full of crap. There is no fraud." Ladies and gentlemen, just like they said there was no vaccine, and just like they said Remdesivir wouldn't work, and just like they said the trade deals were bad, and just like they said the economy was bad, and just like they said that China wasn't a threat. Well, remember, they said that the China virus wasn't a threat to begin with too, right? Remember Nancy Pelosi in Chinatown? Don't worry about it. Come on out. Be fine. You're not going to get sick. Don't worry. Right? President Trump has been right all along. They have lied to you all along. It's time to open your eyes. It's time to pay attention. It's time to realize what's in your best interest and what is killing you both slowly and quickly, because our freedoms today are on the line. It's time to speak up. It's time to make sure that the true results of the election, whatever they are known to every American. And, well, that our freedom is protected. You have been listening to an episode of The American Soundbite, a podcast that features common sense thoughts of me, an everyday American. This has been the most valuable, holy cow, 20 minutes of your day, and I appreciate you joining us. Before I let you go, if you enjoyed what we talked about today, if you like the content or you like the format of the show, click on that like button down below. It lets me know that you enjoy what we do and encourages me to keep doing it. If you didn't like what I had to say, if you disagreed with me, or you just want to yell at me, type that in the comment box. I do read those, and it affects a change in the show quicker than you would think. Right next to the like button is the share button. Let your friends, your family members, your coworkers on social media know that you start your day by listening to the American Soundbite, and that they should too. They can find us on, AmericanSoundbite.com. They can find us on Apple Podcasts or anywhere podcasts can be found. Thanks a lot for joining us. I hope you have a great day, and God bless.